Welcome to everyone. Today is a very special day because it's the day we are celebrating the advent of the Holy Spirit. And I'm going to put everything in proper perspective. For everyone, whether you are Christian or following Buddhism or any other religion, it doesn't matter. The Holy Spirit is important for everyone. It's a global phenomenon that occurred and that is occurring as we celebrate the Pentecostal day. Historically speaking, it is the day that Jesus promised that I am not going to abandon you, or you are not going to become an orphan without you when I go on the cross and die. But I am going to send you someone, a helper, and I am going to read the Bible as we go along where he promises that. And he will come and do what I am not able to do. So the beauty of Jesus is he was as much the Son of God as the Son of Man. He was human. And he didn't even want to die on the cross. But finally compromised that God's will has to be done. And he gladly went on the cross. But the day today is the day that he fulfilled the promise of sending a power, and that power can do miracles. So what we need in the 21st century is not science and technology, because it's already there. Billions and billions of dollars all over the world have been spent on science and technology. But what we need to the world, contemporary world, is miracle. And miracle is not just something that is a remote possibility, but an everyday happening. And it can, from today onwards, become an everyday happening to you, provided if you understand in proper perspective of what the Pentecost is. I did a video webcast 50 days ago on the Easter day, and then said, keep asking God, the God that you think you can relate to. Keep asking for a house or a car or a relationship or a job or whatever, and then it should be miraculously fulfilled. Okay. If that hasn't happened yet, and there is a day to know the dynamics of it and how to invoke that Holy Spirit within you, and then have that fulfilled on a daily basis and on an hourly basis, even a minute-by-minute basis. And what are the prerequisites? And I'm going to talk about it, not only in the context of the Holy Spirit in Christianity, but the Holy Spirit as something that resides within you, within all religions, and they know the Holy Spirit by different names. So I'm going to talk about that in the context of Christianity primarily, because it just became a very well accepted and believed concept, not by all Christians, but at least by quite a few, and by the Pentecostal church. But today is also the day that the church is supposed to have begun, so that so it is also celebrating the origin day. of the church. Now, what is the Holy Spirit? Let's come to this, subject. The Holy Spirit is that which made Jesus to come into this earth plane. The Holy Spirit appeared before Mary and then said, the Son of God is going to be born. That's one. And it's the Holy Spirit that was responsible for the resurrection of the dead body of Jesus. So two miracles here. One, the birth, and then the death miracles. Both were made possible by the Holy Spirit. But where is the Holy Spirit? That is in you. He abides in you. These are the words of Jesus. He is abiding in you. Even before the birth of Jesus. And then, if you go to the very origin of the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the waters, Genesis 1:2. And that is the origin of how the world was created by the Holy Spirit. The Spirit of God is the Holy Spirit. Okay. And it is very interesting to say, I also look at Genesis, another passage. The Lord breathed into the nostrils the breath. Breathe into the nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living being. That is Genesis 2:7. So he breathed, and I'm going to do that. How that happened, and then also I'll put it in the proper context. Now, what is the breath, and what is this relationship to God? Therein lies the Spirit, the science of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is not just a miracle. It is not just a being. It is not a metaphysical phenomenon, but a physical phenomenon that is within you. What is the physical phenomenon within you? Remember, it is the breath that God breathed into you. That is the breath of life. So you have the breath of life, and I have the breath of life. That's why we are able to walk around and do things, otherwise we'll be dead. So everything is about understanding the breath. So breath is the Holy Spirit, but not the oxygen that you are breathing, but is the life energy. The oxygen contains it. Without the holy breath, nothing exists. And this is to understand the nature of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is that which animates us. The Holy Spirit is that which animated the entire universe. The Holy Spirit is the breath. The breath is also the wind. Remember, we have been asking and waiting for the Pentecostal day, because that's the day it was prophesied that day the Holy Spirit will descend on to the earth plane. So it did. And what are the happenings? The happenings are dramatic. Like when the disciples were sitting down and then expecting for the Holy Spirit to come, it came, or he came, or she came. I say it, he and she. In the Jewish tradition and the Greek it's a she, and then it's a ruach, and then this is a section that will be done following my presentation by Elaine Mohini, and he will introduce you how to use this as a technology. Okay. And I chose her because she was born into a born-again family and then, abandoned it and then was looking for things, and she came to me, and then she's now understanding the Holy Spirit in the proper perspective. Now, the Holy Spirit is the breath. On the Pentecostal day, 50 days after Easter, they were waiting, and it came, or he came, or she came, as a gust of wind. And then that gust of wind went into the bodies of the people there, and then they started to speak in tongue. They began to prophesy. And that is really the promise that God gave, Jesus gave. Jesus gave this promise. Why did he leave? He says that I have to do this for you. What I am going to do for you? I was born and I did what God wanted me to do. But then my job is not finished because he was a little frustrated that he wasn't able to do these things. So that what did he decide? He decided to leave. And here is what Jesus said. Why did Jesus die? I'm going to answer this question through Bible. If I do not go away, listen carefully, if I do not go away, die, the Helper, which is the Holy Spirit, shall not come to you. Very, very important passage in the whole of Bible is this passage occurring to me. Shall not, if I do not go away, the Helper shall not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. John 16:7. Okay? If I go, I will send him to you. And this is the day that he sent Holy Spirit. And that's why I decided to go to the Neo Christos as a virtual church to revive the original teachings of Jesus. That's why he called it Neo Christos. I will see where it goes, but I have been inspired to do that. And this is a passage that you should read day after day after day, just to remind yourself. If I do not go away, the Helper shall not come to you, but if I go, I will send him to you. So he sent, and the Holy Spirit came, and as he came, people began to speak in tongue, and then people were able to prophesy. So what that means is the breath went in and then enabled them to live the holy mind, the divine mind. I was just preparing for this talk, and then I was reading Billy Graham's book, The Holy Spirit, because he's a good scholar that I trust. And he says the Holy Spirit will illumine your mind. And then he quotes several passages. We don't have time to do all that. It will, so just this one word, illumine your mind, will give you a super mind. And that super mind will give you the ability to do everything. So where does the super mind come from? From the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit will do that. Now there are so many traditions in the world. All of them know about the Holy Spirit. It's in the Greek tradition prior to Christianity. They called it as the ether. It is the ether just above the sky. The sky as we know as human beings. There's after the atmosphere, and that is called the ether. It's a god for them, and the gods breathe that air. So the yoga also talks about the breath. So it's the breath that goes in. It's not ordinary breath of the oxygen, but something divine, and that has to be put into you. And when that is done, then you are you can prophesy. Prophecy it doesn't mean only to know the future, but to do everything. Do everything. So now, what is the prerequisite? The prerequisite is the belief. The belief is everything. If you don't believe, then it is not a reality. Jesus was able to do everything, the miracles to people, to those who believed in Him. So, the belief is a mantra. I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe is a mantra. Keep on repeating it and then you will have the necessary belief. And after the belief is established, it is not a belief that you have for only on Sunday for a few hours and then just leave. The belief is something, every breath that you breathe is the Holy Spirit's breath. And that breath can raise the dead body to come to life. And that breath was responsible for the immaculate conception. And that breath was in the beginning, in the Genesis, the world was created. And that breath is in you. And that is the breath that is going to give you everything. Now I am going to give you some examples of that breath. And what Jesus Himself did after His resurrection, that is very important to know. So what happened? The reason Jesus left, from a pragmatic point of view, is that in the body He was confined and then there was limitations. So He decided to quit the body and then become one with the Holy Spirit and the God, so as a Trinity. And then with that power He could do things. So it is completely scientific. Well, I came here, I thought that I would do it, but I am unable to do it, so I am going to go and then send someone who can do that. So this is what happened. When He died on the cross, and He came back to life through the help of the Holy Spirit. And then He started appearing before Mary Magdalene and the disciples. And with this spiritual body. Okay. And one guy doubted it, and it was Thomas. That's why he's called a doubting Thomas. No, I don't know. And if you are Jesus, then where is the wound? I don't see the wound. Then Jesus manifested with the body, come on, touch, and then see the wound. And then he believed. Okay. And what was the message that Jesus gave? And He gave the first initiation or anointment of the Holy Spirit. And the church took a long time to get that right. But this is what happened. He appeared and He told the disciples, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, so I am sending you." Okay, He has sent me through His Holy Spirit, and I am going to sending you in a similar way. When He had said this, what happened? He breathed on him and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." And then He breathed. So that was the first initiation or anointment He gave to the disciples with His divine body. And He also told them, if you forgive anyone sins, they are forgiven. It is all in John 20, if you want to look at it. And if you are withhold the forgiveness, and they will not be forgiven. So it's the message is a powerful message. Forgive people. Forgive their sins. Then you become pure. The two important things. He breathed and then he said, receive the Holy Spirit. Now, I can go on and on, but I don't want to, because there is another person, Pillai, who is going to do that. Now I'm going to do one final thing. Just believe, believe, believe. And I am going to just read the Bible and then about what Jesus did to remind you of what Jesus did. Now, close your eyes and then, as the Father has sent me, so I am sending you. Now, just think of Jesus and receive the Holy Spirit. I'm going to blow. Receive the Holy Spirit. Receive the Holy Spirit. Receive the Holy Spirit. Let the body, mind, and the soul be renewed. God bless.